Yeshua sent these 12 out, having commanded them, saying, do not go into the way of the Gentiles, do not enter a city of the Shomerites, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now look what he said here. Do not go into the way of the Gentiles. So first of all, going into the way of the Gentiles, I'm going to say that that's not a place. That's a behavioral pattern. He said, I'm sending you out, and when you go out, don't adapt to them. You're there to helpfully have them adapt to you. Because people often say to me, oh, well, I'm still hanging out with these people or going to this place or doing whatever because I think I'm going to influence them. Really? Be real careful who's influencing who. Because you could just as easily have them wear off on you as opposed to you wear off on them. And so we have to be careful how that works. But he says here, look, don't go into the way of the Gentiles and do not enter a city of the Shomerites. Now, the Shomerites were the kingdom just north, the Samaritans, okay? And, you know, that's the ones that they talk about. They were called dogs and all this other stuff. Now, you got to realize that they were dealing with a whole different set of punishments and issues. They knew better. These are the people left behind when the lost tribes were taken away. What people don't understand is that the methodology of captivity was not to take every living soul out of a country and leave it barren. They didn't take everybody out of the northern kingdom. They took all the leadership out of the northern kingdom, all of the key power authority figures out of the northern kingdom, and left the workers, the farmers, the cattlemen, the people that were part of making the everyday, the stuff that would generate taxes, income, revenue for the kingdom, for the nation that took them into captivity. So when the Assyrians came, they didn't want to depopulate Israel. They wanted to make it into a revenue generator without any problems with rebellion. So they took away all the leadership and key figures that could possibly cause a problem, put all of theirs in there, and what happened was some people left of their own, some people stayed. And the ones that stayed assimilated to some degree. And those in the south lost total respect for those of the north for doing that. Does that make some sense for everybody? Same thing happened in the days of the Maccabees. When the Greeks came in, there were a lot of Jews that were allowing themselves to be Hellenized. And this became a big problem for some of the Jews who didn't like seeing their brethren go into Hellenization. They became Greek. They started acting Greek. They adapted and adopted all of the Greek culture. And so that was the real big fight going on during the Maccabees. So realize when you read the story of the Maccabees, you'll understand that the Maccabees did not start out fighting the Greeks. They first started out fighting with their brothers who were allowing themselves to become Hellenized. That was the first battles, Jew on Jew. Then it expanded to Jew on Greek. And so what you have going on there, because then the Greeks wanted to come in and kind of rescue the Hellenized Jews. Because they wanted to back them up, because after all, they were acting Greek, they wanted to be Greek, and they were assimilating into the Greek culture. And so that's what's going on here. He's saying, look, don't go into the way of the Gentiles, don't be like them, and don't enter a city of the Shomerites. They're dealing with their own punishment for their assimilating. He says, but rather go out to the lost sheep. Go find the ones that have been scattered out there. We know the Shomerites who they are, and they know who they are. They know who they are. They just need to make a choice to fix what they've been doing. Because remember, the woman at the well said, yes, this is our father Jacob's well. She knew who she was. She didn't have a problem knowing who she was. They just hadn't made the right choice to shift over, to change their behavior, to stand up and be what they were supposed to be. So he's saying, look, I want you to go out to the lost sheep. So that's a good key verse there. But notice that, and this is one of those overcoming things, and we're going to hit on it more as we get through the teaching here, but don't go into the way of the Gentiles. Don't do as they do. That's a theme all throughout when they came out of Egypt. They came out of Egypt, and you hear Yahweh saying over and over again, I'm going to walk you through a bunch of other nations on the way to the land. Do not do as they do. Don't look at them and go, oh, how do you worship your gods? Maybe we should worship ours that way. Don't do that. This is why Christianity is the mess that it is today, because they did that. That's how Christmas came in. That's how Easter came in. Sunday worship came in. These are all, we call that syncretism. Syncretism, not synchronizing, but syncretizing. Okay? Bringing and merging together two things that really don't belong.